Just one sec. Let's go ahead and get started, man. Let's go ahead and get started. How is everyone feeling, man? Y'all
Great.
feeling today?
Good
Good
evening. Pretty
afternoon,
good. How
y'all.
you
Good
feeling?
afternoon.
Good, 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 man. We're gonna have a good meeting today. Have a good meeting. Let's go ahead and lock in and get started. Sec. A lot going on right now. A lot going on, but it's cool. It's cool. So yeah, by watching or reading this, you're saying you understand the following. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not trading advice. This session is solely for educational purposes. There are significant financial risk associated with options trading, and I'm not liable for your wins or losses in the market if you decide to act on this information. Let's hop right into things, man. Again, this is going to be a good day, great meeting, and just looking forward to this upcoming week. I think it's going to be a great week also. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend, having a great weekend. But yeah, let's hop right into things. So yeah, on Friday, this was the top call options flow, right? On Friday, we had Microsoft, followed by Amazon, Adobe, CRM, AMD. On the put side, NVIDIA, Coin, Meta, Apple, and MCSI. Dell's on there too. Just had to throw that in there for other purposes. Now, for the week, top put options flow, let's start at the bottom. For the week was NVIDIA, followed by Meta, Silver, Coin, and Target. On the call side, PDD, GameStop, Amazon, CVS, and Tesla. In terms of sector performance, so like I like to compare the like Friday before to the Friday that we just had, and this was 2 weeks ago. Communication services was the top sector on Friday, the Friday before, followed by utilities, consumer discretionary materials, and technology. With most of, with the exception of real estate, all of the others right here were consumer staples, the worst performers, which are defensive stocks. Kind of gave us an idea that we have a bullish week, right? This week was a little interesting. We finished with energy being at the top, right? Followed by real estate and utilities. With the exception of utilities, you see how it was like almost inverse there. We had uh real estate and energy, one of the worst performance sectors of Friday before, and they ended up the strongest on that Friday, even with consumer staples being up there. So we're gonna take a look at a few of them on the, and then we had comms down here, communication services down the bottom, with consumer discretionary and technology. So we kind of got almost like an inverse of the week before. Anyhow, let's just get into things. Yeah, so look, we just gonna go through this first really quickly. So remember, because look, this March, I mean, May was a short month for me because I was on vacation for a lot of the time. But I remember last week after our meeting, I said we got some time to catch up. We had some time to catch up, so we caught up. We finished this month. Now, these are the monthly totals that if you purchase just one option contract for every trade that I alerted, including the losses, we came to a total of $5,497. I didn't even think that we hit that type of number this week. So, give yourself a round of applause if you participated, or, we killing this year in 2024. Just so we
Hey.
killed the profits for last May. We just been crushing it. I did not expect this to happen, and I'm gonna tell y'all something. So, lately we switched up the way we do Zoom now, and it's been to me, I like it a lot better now. But one of the things that we did switch up, I try to make I try to get on there with action items now, as opposed to just getting on there and just letting the market happen, right? So we get on there with some action items, and we've been having action items. So there are a lot of trades that got alerted on Zoom. I did not include all of those trades. I only included three, where there were actual strikes and prices involved, right? But and even without those three trades that I included, we cleared over $4,000, but over $4,500 in profits for this month. So, like I said, we crushed it this month. But there's a plethora of trades that I did not include, and then I didn't include any earnings trades except for one, and that's the one that I alerted to the team, everyone, and that was the Target trade. I included the loss on the call loss on there too, of which was $190 on there. So if you look at the list, I got it broken down because it was too large to put on one side. You can see I got the loss on here too, the 190, and then this was the profit on the put side or whatever. So I put all of the losses on here too, and so we just we crushed it this month, man. We crushed it this month. And I'm not surprised, but when I was doing the data, I was a little shocked. But like I said, I put my head down this last week. I said we got to crush it. I want to take out certain numbers this week, and we got it done. So again, just another round of applause for the whole team, and just I'm looking forward to June, man. June is a big feat. I'm not looking to take out the profits for June. From last year, we cleared almost 9 bands per single option for June last year. I'm not saying what we can or can't do, right? I'm not saying that because I know. And again, we haven't really included any earnings trades in these plays. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to what's to come. But yeah, I just had to stop and hit that up really quickly. All right, so lessons learned and recap. Does anybody want to kick this off with some lessons learned or recap for this past week?
I will go ahead. And yeah, I had a really solid week. I really only got into 2 trades, Dell earnings trade you gave us and a Microsoft trade, and I cleared like $1,400. So I think that was good for me. Um, but Microsoft
Yeah,
Microsoft was a really good play for me. Just me being able to, I feel like I'm leveling up. Like I can feel it, I can see it. And I'ma just tell everybody on here one thing about me: don't challenge me, because that's gonna I'm gonna always meet the challenge. If you challenge me, that's gonna push me harder. And anyway, Microsoft had reached all-time highs, and had been ranging like the rest of the market. We were kind of waiting on some economic data. We knew GDP was coming Thursday. Um, the Wednesday, when I did get into the trade, we had the beige book. And I saw it, at 430, not really trying to really break it and make it to that 431 to try to take out the high. SPY was weak. If you have been in the group any amount of time, Antoine will tell us, SPY. Microsoft definitely kind of mirrors SPY. And so SPY wasn't really given that push that it needed to give for Microsoft to like really take off. Although every time it tried to SPY moved up, you could see Microsoft kind of being ready to go. But I didn't believe it. That was my theory. I felt it was coming down. And the market really just gave that to me because Salesforce died
Took the entire
for
market
earnings
down.
and took the whole market down. And by the end of the day, basically the whole move that Microsoft had made that day, because it went from 425, it opened at 425, closed and was up at 430, ran straight to 430, but it just couldn't break there. And so right then I grabbed when I saw it, the last retest that I saw, I jumped into a 427.5. I felt the stock could go to at least 425, 420. If everything, if the stars align, because we don't know what the market's going to do, but Salesforce kind of gave that push. Spy and Microsoft flushed like almost immediately. And yeah, so I turned 160 something into like $700,
Yeah,
over
that was an amazing
300%
trade.
profit.
That was an amazing trade. And so just the thing is about just sticking to the process and having your own thing. Now, two things. Microsoft is the stock that she chose to watch. When I do my coachings, my personal coachings with everybody, I tell them to choose a stock that they're willing to follow, even when things aren't going the way you want them to go. You gotta be able to just grind with it, right? And follow the price action and be able to be comfortable being bored with something until it's ready, right? And she stuck with Microsoft, so now she knows how it moves. She understands the different the economic data that is sensitive to how it follows the price of SPY, and how sensitive it is to the price of SPY. So these are things that helped her to have the confidence to jump in that trade and spend the hundred and something dollars that she spent then on a swing trade, but it price rejected, it gapped down, and then it flushed down to the 50. And yeah, so she made a really nice profit on that trade. That was a really, really good profit. And again, I'm proud of her because she come a long way, and she never gave up, and she just one of the top performers in here now. And so it's just so for the women, the ladies out there, just know it's a lot of women in our community who are in here and they're killing it. There's a lot of women in here that are crushing it. So this ain't a man's game. It's a whoever's going to lock in and follow the process game. And we got a lot of charts that I'm gonna go through today, and get everybody ready for this upcoming week. Now, just I'm gonna hit it again. So we had a few trades that we hit last week, that a few charts that I went over that played out to perfection, and then we had some that did not go as well, right? So, and but one thing's for certain, that levels must be respected. And when we get to Meta, we will talk about that more. As a matter of fact, that's where I'm gonna start, because that's where, when we talk about lessons learned or recap, I want to recap what actually happened with Meta last week. These are the stories and stuff that make you into to better traders, being able to know what's going on. Now, we had a Zoom session on Tuesday morning when the market opened, and I told my entire team, I'm like, look, Meta's in this range, and as long as it's in this range, one second, hold on. Yeah, as long as it's in this range right here, this is what's going to happen. But if we needed Meta to either break 480 or to lose 475, as long as it held 475, it was still in play. If it did not, then all hell would break loose, and we got to take advantage of that on Zoom Friday too. I did not count that in our profits, by the way. So it's a lot of stuff I don't count in our profits, but yeah. One second. Yeah, here we go. So look, let's talk about Meta for a second. I like to look at it on the session hourly charts. And excuse my charts, man, because I got some other indicators on here that should not be here. They're just here for, yeah. But let's just talk about Meta. So here we go. Meta was trading in this range, and I love the setup on the chart, because, and I'm looking, it's funny because look how, when you see how it finished, it's crazy. But this was the breakout area. Again, we've been in this
I
downtrend
don't
for
see
a
the
while.
chart, bro.
We got the breakout.
Yeah, we
Okay,
can't see
thank
the
you.
chart, fam.
No, he already told me
It's
that, but
shown
hold on,
on
but
IG,
hold
but
on.
not
Look,
here.
well, thank you, DJ. Once DJ said it, I ain't need nobody else to say it, because y'all sat here and let us not see the chart all that time and ain't say nothing. Thank you, DJ. So yeah, but here we go. So look, so we had this setup here. I forgot I'm streaming on Instagram too, so I got two setups on here. That's the only problem. But yeah, so but we got the breakout, we got the candle confirmation. Look, we even had a move up the next day. So we got to move up on Meta, but we rejected 480, and just we rejected 480. The whole market was down too, though. Came back up, rejected 480 again, lost the 50, but look, check this out. So we still at this time, we were still holding. As long when we dropped the first time on that, because this was Tuesday when we were on Zoom, I was telling my team, as long as it holds 480, I'm sorry, 475, this 475, wherever my level is here, it was fine, right? Because we broke out and now we previous resistance became support. As long as we held that area, we were fine. So once we lost that, now I got a few levels on here. And if we broke here, our price target was up there. But if we lost the level, we had targets that we needed to hit 470, 460, 460, and so on. We took it once we lost this level here. Look how far Meta dropped from when it lost 475. It dropped all the way down here to 455. It dropped $20 after it lost that level. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot going on. Now we did have some really big trades last week that so there wasn't a lot of focus on Meta. That's why I kind of laid it out quickly. But there were some people who hopped on Zoom and we did take advantage of the downside on Meta on Friday. So that was a good trade. But the thing is, you always respect the levels. And like I told y'all last week, the longer the consolidation, the bigger the move when it happened. Now we were looking for a nice $20 move to the upside. We got that $20 move to the downside. But look what Meta did. They dragged and on Zoom Friday, I told the team because the Meta had already lost all of these levels. I was telling the team if Meta lost where's my other chart? But I was just like, if we lost that 460, if we lost 460 on Friday, we were going down to 455. And like I told him, I said that we have another level, which would be this gap fill area. I said, but 455 is our target because it's likely going to bounce right here. And that's exactly what happened. But it was a nice $5 move down on that particular trade. But look where we closed. It bounced off of this gap fill area, this bullish gap fill area, came all the way back up here, finished as a hammer. So bears look. So this is let's just look at what this candle means right here. What a hammer pretty much means. So it's a few things going on with this chart, but it opened here, it closed here, but this is the high as it went up, rejected the 9 EMA. But look, check this out. Bears were able to drag this price all the way down here, back below the wedge break and everything down to a bullish gap fill area. But bulls were able to fight resiliently and bring price all the way back up here and finish as a hammer. And we closed back up above the breakout area. So, we just got to see what happens with that because on the flip side, the whole market ran in the last 5 minutes. The last 15 minutes of a Friday, the whole market ran, so, and remember a monthly candle closed. So there was a lot of volatility that we were expecting because we had a monthly candle closing and also a new quarter is starting because, we got June coming up. So that was a quarterly candle closing and a monthly candle well, quarterly candle didn't close, but we got this month, June is going to be the end of a quarter here. And we got quad witching this month too. So, and remember the March quad witching and the June quad witching, they be the worst. We'll talk more about that. But yeah, so let's finish with this meta chart. Let's see what the weekly chart showing us right now, though. Okay, so we got an outside week. Outside weeks are interesting. So we had an inside and an outside week. So we got a 213 on the weekly for Meta. So again, outside just shows that extreme volatility. So price can do anything. And we saw a lot of bearish flow on this, but at the same time, we're going to see exactly what happened. Now, and the thing is, we'll play this based on and according to what we see happens in the market, right? You know what I mean? Because me personally, I don't want to touch Meta until it gets back over that 50 EMA at least. You know what I'm saying? So now obviously that's a lot of price to get up there before, getting into a trade, right? But to me personally, I'm looking for the bigger moves. I don't want a $4 move on the stock. It's not worth me paying, risking per option, like over $300, $400 per single option to only make a $4 move. Now, in that trade, that can take you up a good 50% or something like that. But, we like the bigger moves. I'm only willing to risk on a bigger move. And so if it's only going to move a few dollars and it can possibly get rejected here with no real movement, I don't really want that move. Where if we get over this 90 and over this 50, we got a few other levels that we likely hit if that happens. So we're going to keep Meta on watch, but that's not one of our top trades unless we see we need some action from Meta at this point. go further with Meta. I'm gonna start with I'm gonna move on to try to get all my tops out first. Let me go to Dell really quickly because Dell was an interesting chart. Shout out to everybody that was in Dell with me last week. We had a really nice trade on Dell, and then we played it again on Friday. So all right, here is Dell, man. So we talked about this last week, and this was another trade that played out to perfection. After we played the earnings, we we traded it the morning after. But I told y'all last Monday when we had our last meeting that Dell was really extended, and it was like it was dangerously extended last week. And that's pretty much all I said. And y'all know how I feel about all-time highs. But look, when we played it the day after, so we swung some, we were in puts, right? That we swung for earnings, right? And I told my team, I'm like, because this is what happened. Let's go to the chart. Let's see what happened. So look, this is where it closed on Thursday, and this is where it opened on Friday. So look, we were in 140 puts, right? And for like the end of June or something like that. And so they were no longer in the money. Now, the day before that night of earnings, they were in the money. But so when the market opened, I told the team, I'm like, look, chill on Dell. We need to let those Dell plays breathe for a second. So this is where price opened, and I'm just gonna open this up, put this on the session hourly over here for a second. So I told the team, let them trades breathe for a second because I felt like they would go back in the money. And then once we got back below for 138, I told the team, oh, it was definitely going back down to, it was going to retest this 50 EMA right here. So just to hold the trades and let them breathe for a little while. So something that would have been like a 500 and something dollar profit ended up going up to like over like 900 and something in profit. I know the contracts ended up going up to over over 1100 and something, but I'm just saying we pretty much doubled the profits from the open by being able to follow the price action and play it down. But look, so this is how it finished on the daily. We bounced off the 50 EMA, came back up here, and it closed at one of my levels, but it closed under 140. It still closed under 140. I'm still bearish on it, but the thing is, we'll see what price does. Um, could get a retest of that 147.82 first, which would be a nice move if you know if we were able to clear the 144.80. But I'm bearish on this. I'm still bearish on it, but we got to see what the market's going to do. So let's look at it now. If you look into trade puts on this, just wait until if I wouldn't. Now, obviously, you can play a range, right? Look for if the flow is bearish on this particular stock on Monday, yeah, Monday, tomorrow, whatever. We could actually find a setup on a lower time frame. But I'm saying, like, if you're looking for a move on it, you really want to trade this after it loses this 50 EMA. If you're looking to trade some puts, but I mean, but then it's like this. That's a long move down. Let's say we closed at 139.56 back down to 132.30. That's a good move. That's a good, like a $6 move down. So that's a pretty substantial move to be able to play, right? And there's a gap here that got filled, but it did not really get filled because it didn't hold it. Let's see what happens. I just don't like that when the market was pushing, when everything was pulling back up towards the end of the day, that Dell still managed to close under 140. So again, like I said, I'm bearish on it, but we got to also, this is the thing, how do we figure this out? How do we determine whether the stock is just, because the chart is not enough, right? We look at the weekly too. Also, let me just pull this back up for a second. We had this key level here on the weekly. You can see we got a nice key level here where resistance became support. We only hit this level twice. Let's see if we can come back down here. And again, I'm not saying that the Dell is going to die, but I'm not opposed to another retest of this 132, and let's see what state the market is in when that does take place. But yeah, just the thing was that we listened to their earnings call, and so of course they beat EPS and revenue. Everybody knew that Dell was going to beat EPS and revenue, but what happened was the guidance was lighter than expected. And then when a stock has run up as much as Dell did, look at this weekly chart on Dell. This is crazy. We got look, and then we also finished with it. Let's look at this. This is a 222, 223 reversal with a bearish engulfing. This this bearish candle fully engulfed. It ate that previous candle right here, right? So we got that, but this stock had been running up since a few earnings ago. It's like it just started surging. They started talking about AI, Nvidia's running everything. So then it just starts running. And they did not mention the Nvidia partnership one time on their earnings call. So that kind of got me looking at that a little sideways. They didn't mention it one time on their earnings call, but we do know that they're expecting for uh for Q3 for the revenue, the guide to be a little lighter, and for the fiscal year, the rest of the fiscal year, that one was in line with expectation, but it still was a little weaker when you got a stock that ran up, it front ran the earnings and like that based off all of the news that was coming out. So they needed to come and blow it out the park and guide up, and they did not do that. So that's why the stock saw so much selling pressure. And I honestly feel like yeah, it's a great company and stuff like that, but I feel like I don't think that it should be up as much as it was. I don't think it should be up as much as it was. So yeah, so let's keep Dell on watch, y'all. We will be watching Dell. Let me go to Alta. Alta was another one this week that had earnings, right? So look at this. Now, this was another. Now, Alta was one of those companies where they they got it down for the last 2 quarters, right? And the stock has been just pretty much coming down. So this particular quarter, I mean, and they were missing too on EPS revenue or missing one or the other. They actually they beat Wall Street's expectations on EPS and revenue, but the guide was weak again. But it was nowhere for the stock to go but up. Now some stuff happened in the market on Friday, with the whole market that kind of caused things to come back down. But let's talk about this for a second. So here's the weekly on Alta Beauty. So if you look at this weekly chart, we were talking about this last week too, how, this was a key level down here at the weekly on the weekly. So it was pretty much nowhere else for this stock to go but up. You got to think about fair value at some point. It's like, okay, yeah, the stock that they missed earnings again, but like this is a great company. And then I'm gonna tell you one of the reasons I felt like they would beat is I was talking to some of my team members about this because I listened to Target's earnings call and they were talking about their revenue. And one of the biggest drivers of the revenue for Target was the Ulta Beauty products in their stores. And then Elf, which is another beauty company, they hit over $1 billion in sales and for their earnings and did pretty well. So having Ulta beat revenue and EPS this time was not really a surprise to me. I felt like that it would run because there was nowhere else for it to go. But the guide was weak again still. But after they broke down everything on the earnings call, the stock still ended up running all the way up here to what was that 121 something in the after hours. It really cleared 135. But yeah, we finished with a bullish engulfing on the weekly on Alta. It ended up finishing as a bullish engulfing. So we got a 2-2-2 reversal with a bullish engulfing. Came up here, rejected this, but I feel like if the market is okay this week, and I think there's no reason why Alta should not be getting a bounce around these areas here, because again, like I said, it's oversold anyhow. So let's just see what Alta can do here. Now, if you see here on the daily, we got a reject of the non-EMA. I'm sorry, the 50 EMA. And then you saw we were already full-fledged in a depth cross on Alta Beauty. So the 50 EMA crossed below the 200 EMA and we were in a depth cross. But look, from the moment we hit the depth cross right here, we were already in a downtrend. And you see where the stock went from there. So from the moment we hit the depth cross, the stock dropped. Let me see, what is that? 411 all the way down to like three something, like three. I can't really see the level, but like below south of 380. So it dropped a lot since then. Let's see if we can get some sort of movement out of this at this point. But still holding the breakout. We got to bounce off the breakout if you're looking at it like that. Let's see what Alta does here. Let's see what it does here. One sec. Yeah, man, there was a lot going on last week, and I just want to make sure that I hit the ones that really matter. So I'm gonna go back to CRM quickly because interesting earnings for CRM. CRM, they reported they guided for single digit growth for the first time in history. and the market did not like that. Stock fell off a cliff. But this was one of the stocks last week that was one of the top stocks of the week on my list, expecting a big move from it, and we got it. So that was one that played out to perfection. But you see what happened. We got a reversal here. We got that reversal, and that was a nice bullish move into the close. But even before the close, it was already running. If I break this down a little bit, hold on. I like how we got back above a key level on the weekly, although it still was bearish. Everything's still bearish, but I'm like, man, at some point, I mean, is it oversold? But this is the thing: when you guide for single digit growth on a stock. Now we talked about this before, right? Remember? So let's say you got it's some shoes that you like, and they are, let's say they normally cost like around $500 or something for this shoe, and now we're in a recession and everything's falling off a cliff, and now you see this shoe for $200. It's normally $500. You're not going to say, well, you know what, everything's falling off a cliff, let me see if it's going to get any cheaper. No, you're going to take advantage of that sale, and you're going to buy it because you know it's on sale. And so that's what people are doing with CRM right now, because they know that this isn't going to be a long-term thing. But then some other people are like, well, damn, they got it for single digit growth for the first time. And after missing the last quarter, we didn't expect this to happen. We thought they finally had it figured out. But what people are not realizing is, look how much CRM ran up last year and this year. It ran up so much, it gave back everything. It gave back all of its gains for 2024. It hasn't been down to these levels since November of last year, right? So we came back down here to a level and it bounced. And so let's just see what CRM does. You see it got back into this gap fill area. So for me personally, my target would be the gap fill, the top of this gap fill, if we get a continuation. So if we're able to clear 235, then my target is going to be up here, up in the 248. Now, that's not a hard feat for a stock like CRM. So we're going to keep this one on watch. Now, I just think they're going to buy CRM at this point, at least, but we'll have to see what happens because we got nicely into this gap. And so let's go from there. CRM is a good one to watch. So let's just keep an eye on it. Hold on one second. Let me just see how the monthly looks, because we did have a monthly candle that just closed on Friday. Yeah, so came down here and bounced off the same area on the monthly. So zoom out and you get a clearer picture, Looks good, but we'll see what happens. We still got to see what happens. We ain't got no Fed speakers this week. It's a blackout week because the week after is FOMC. So we ain't got no Fed speakers to worry about. But one sec, go back to the daily, and here we go. So yeah, let me go over the SPY for a second, just because we got to, and always forget the obvious, right? You see, we got that nice move back and close back above the 9 EMA on the daily. So SPY looking okay. That was a lot of surge that came in here after they closed those positions out, came back and just bought everything back up. So that was a good reversal that we got on SPY on the daily. Let me just take a look at the week. Yeah, nice move on the weekly also. Pull this out here. So they came back up, bought that up. It still finished with a bearish engulfing on the week, but let's just see how price move. Now there's a nice gap fill area that we could possibly fill, so we can clear that 127.50. I'm looking for a move up to 129.81, and then the all-time high, which would be the 533.07. But let's see exactly what happened. We got a really big jobs number this week. The non-farm payroll data comes out this week. So that's another big catalyst that we got through. Cool. Oh yeah, Nvidia. So yeah, Nvidia is a big one this week. Let me tell y'all why. So look, y'all know that on the 7th, well, really the 6th, after the market closes on Thursday, NVIDIA is doing their 10-to-1 stock split. So whatever the stock is at, whatever price the stock is on Thursday when the market closed, on Lotto Friday the next morning, there will be a stock split. The stock will be 10 times cheaper than what it was. And that's going to cause a lot of volatility in the market. So now this is the final week heading into that the split. So we're going to see what NVIDIA does this week. We could probably get another move, another big move, but we have to see what happens. Let me just bring up the weekly over here. On it, you see it gave those gains back, finished here, didn't quite close the gap or nothing, came down there, tested it. But because again, we had a lot of volatility in the market. It wasn't all because of NVIDIA. Like I said, we talked about it earlier, but Salesforce caused that market to drop. But yeah, so we can think about NVIDIA. We're in uncharted territory still, but now that we've been up to 1158, we got some levels that we can retest, right? So if we can clear that 1127, we can possibly make a move back up there into that all-time high and then take that out, because it's going to create momentum. There's a lot of people that want to be involved in this split, and some people that, it just was a lot of selling that took place last week too. And we still got almost a whole week left on this. Now, if we lose that 1,000, I'm just going to say if we just lose 1,000, then we can come back down there and retest. If we lose 1,000, it's at 1,069, then we can retest that 1,059. So that's like a $20 move down, which would be at the 200, sorry, the 9 EMA. So, but let's just see what happens. I'm not sure they're going to let that take place ahead of the split. Now, the stock may sell off after the split, but let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens. It's a lot going on in this with the stock. They beat and they smashed earnings again. They keep guiding up, and they got a lot of partnerships. We're gonna keep NVIDIA on watch. Now, shout out to everybody that hopped on Zoom on Tuesday morning. I put the team in the NVIDIA 1200 call. They were going for $200. We ran them all the way up to almost $1,000. So, and that was just like during power hour. We were done by power hour. So that was a pretty good move ahead of this the split. So we'll see what opportunities the market give us this week. But let's keep this one on watch for sure. PDD, hit that now. I've been talking about cleaning this chart up for a while. Still haven't cleaned it up yet. But here's PDD. And I like how PDD closed on this weekly chart. You see, sometimes the daily has a lot of noise on it, right? And you got to zoom out so you can get a clearer view of what's going on. And I still, I got to clean this chart up. But we finished here with a 222 reversal, but it held this breakout area where it was. But if you look here on the weekly, we got a level here. We got a support that turned into resistance. I'm sorry, resistance that turned into support, and we bounced off that level and we held it. Although we got a flush, it still held this area. So maybe we'll get a gap fill. And we did finish green on the day on Friday. Now, like again, for those that don't know, the PDD is the parent company of Temu, and Temu has been rivaling Amazon, and they've been, it's been a lot going on with that. So a lot of money is going into the company. So just keep it on watch. So if we can get over 150, 150.50, we should be able to close this bearish gap right here at the what's that, 151, 151.21, and then make a move back up to 155. That's what I would be looking for on PDD. Now, if we lose this level, we lose and we break back down, because we just reclaimed the 9 EMA here. But if we lose this 148.55, then we can come back down here and retest this area. And we got a gap fill area that it'll likely fill if that does happen. What is that at 140, 145.45, and then down here to 143, 143.74. That's probably where it'll get stopped out at. I'm gonna clean this chart up though. But yeah, so keep this one on watch. Go back over to Goldman Sachs, man. This is one of my favorite stocks, man, to trade sometimes. But Yeah, look at this Goldman Sachs chart, man. Goldman just can't get enough of Goldman, man. And I like it because remember last week we were talking about it. And I'm like, I can't trade it at all-time highs, but we got a nice pullback on the stock and we finished with a bullish engulfing, the 222 reversal with a bullish engulfing. Yeah, rejected the non-EMA, but I'm looking at the like market structure over EMAs, right? So we got a candle confirmation, slight candle confirmation right here. And this is a bullish flag right here. So we get this. Let's see if we can get a continuation. Because what I'm gonna say is this: instead of looking for a move, we can get over 456.77. I would rather get over 457, 457.55, get back over that 9 EMA. Then we know that we got action. But the whole bank sector ran last week. The whole banking sector ran. I'm sorry, was one of the most bullish sectors last week. So we're gonna keep this one on watch anyhow because we got a few levels that we can hit on Goldman Sachs. And again, this is a good stock to play. Contracts print if you get in at where you're supposed to get in at and take advantage of the opportunities. Now, I know my team going to make sure we keep it on watch and everything. Now, if it loses 448. If it loses 448, then we can possibly retest this area down here. So again, everything looks good, but if we were to lose that area, that's a nice move down, nice $5 move down if we were able to do that. And then it'll probably now we'll have to see what happens because again, this stock has been pretty bullish. And I like the bull flag that we got forming here on the daily. And if you see on the weekly, we had some resilience here too, where we finished with a hammer. But yeah, let's keep it on watch. The stock has been extended, but the whole, like I told y'all, the banking sector, I told y'all financials would front run this market this year. Speaking of financials front running this market, I'm gonna hit another sector, but I'm gonna hit JP Morgan first. Hit JP Morgan, man. Look at that JP Morgan candle. Sheesh. JP Morgan just keeps going up to this one was actually finished green on the week and the day and the week. This is a solid move up. But again, I just you know how I feel about it. Stocks at all-time highs, but this one it gave us a nice pullback. I like how it bounced off the 9 EMA, came back and ran towards the end of the day on Friday. Now over 203.30, we should be able to retest the all-time highs at 205.88. If we lose that 198.35, I'm looking for a move back down here. So let's just keep it on watch and see exactly what happens. And then we can possibly get back to retest the 194, which is at the 50 EMA. But you notice it's been bouncing around this area. So let's just see what happens. That's a big move into the close. Actually, let me unpack this candle a little bit, do some surgery on to see when that move took place. Yeah, so we actually had the breakout. You see this move right here. So we had a little consolidation. It broke out at around 12:30, around then we got a surge in volume for the last 3 hours heading into the close. So this just started running in the afternoon on Friday. Yeah, let's keep that on watch. I'm gonna go ahead and hit Wells Fargo while I'm here. Can't hit the banks and not hit Wells Fargo and can't not do that.
Can you do Bank of America?
Sure can. One sec. Sure can. Let me see. Wells Fargo. Something told me you were going to say that. But yeah, so look, this was on Friday also. I'm just looking at a session hourly. So this one, if you look all of the banks kind of, I'm gonna actually take this over here for a second to the XLF is an ETF that tracks the banking sector, right? So if you don't want to choose an individual bank, you can play XLF because they got all of the banks that I just talked about in this one ETF, kind of like how SPY got the top 500 stocks on the stock exchange in there. XLF got all of these banks in there, right? And if you see the candles kind of look similar, it kind of looks similar to the Goldman Sachs chart. We got a bull flag breakout and we got a continuation with a close over the 9 EMA. And this is a daily chart right here on the ETF XLF. So again, you can always trade that. It's a cheaper trade, and obviously it's not going to move as fast because if you got some banks coming down and some going up, but you can play it, put some time on it if you really believe in the direction of it. And if I zoom out on this chart, you'll see the trend is up, right? It's been trending up. This is crazy. Now look, this is since 2024 started. Now, like I said, last year, I was asked on the news what stocks or what I thought about the stock market in 2024. And I said that the banks would be one of the sectors to front run the market. And at that time, it was down here, right? Look how far the ETF has ran up. And this is a weekly chart. So each candle represents 1 week of price action, and we've been moving up. It's been respecting this area too. I like the pullback and the continuation. I like that. So we've been, at highs on this. Let me just see what the high is on this. If I look at the month, yeah. So we already at all-time highs on this as well. So yeah, this is a monthly chart now. Just had to look at that. So again, you can use that. So how we use SPY to track the overall, the broader market, and use QQQ to track the technology sector. You can actually, and financial stocks are in there too, but you can use XLF as an indicator. So I like to use certain stocks or ETFs as indicators when I'm playing certain sectors. So again, keep this on watch also, XLF. Good one. But yeah, so Wells Fargo, really quickly before I move on from this chart, looking at the daily chart on it, you see we just missed we bounced off the 50 EMA right here, and we just missed the non-EMA, just closed just below it, just shy of it. But there's also a level here. Let me just I'm gonna mark two things first. Let me just mark this wedge first because we still got the breakout like we got on the Goldman Sachs chart, and the like I said, it looks very similar to the XLF chart. And then hold on. But if I go here, I got a level here. So we just rejected this level. So I need to move over this level. If we get through it, then we can make a nice move. So I'm gonna say over 60, over 60. And again, these just keep in mind, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Citibank, these contracts are very, very cheap. They're like really, really cheap. So you're gonna, yeah, you gotta, if you're gonna play a stock like this, man, don't expect a big move, but the contracts are cheap, so you can grab a whole lot of them, and if you get a nice move on it, but yeah, but it's a really cheap stock. They're really cheap stocks, but if we can get over 60, then we should be able to make a move to 60, 72, and then possibly back up into this 6186 area and then up into the high. Now, if we lose that 5897, then we can retest that 50 EMA at the 5888 price level down up in here and so far. But I think that they'll probably catch it up there. I don't think they're gonna let it drop down that far. So yeah, so keep this one on watch. This is Wells Fargo. Did I see the weekly on this yet? Yeah, so we had that hammer on the weekly, some resilience on this one also. Now I'm gonna go ahead and Bank of America. All right. So we got Bank of America. See, same thing with this chart, man. So we got a lot of these stocks. I mean, not the same thing because I like when stocks has a lot of levels that they can actually retest. Let me go back on here. Bank of America, one sec. Put a weekly here. Interesting candle. Interesting stuff though. The way the stock has been moving. Daily chart, daily. One sec. It's a delay on my end. I got a lot of screens up, so just give me one sec. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It ain't loading. Cool. All right, there it is. It's moving now. It's moving now. Just give me a sec. Here we go. Cool. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. But yeah, so Bank of America, man. So you see, there's a lot of space here because we haven't been back up in these levels since what was that back in April of 2022. So now we're starting to make some strides back above these levels that we haven't seen since that time. And there's a few levels that we can actually hit. That's why I was zooming out to see if there were any gaps here on the daily that we were approaching. And I do see, yeah, there aren't any gaps there. Just wanted to see because I try to put priority over certain things when I see certain things on the chart. And but yeah, like get over 40, then we got a few levels that we can retest on Bank of America. So over 40, and I'm looking at yeah, I'm saying like over 40, 36, then we can retest that 41, 22, and so on. So there's a few levels that we can actually hit up into 445, up into 44, 65. But again, these stocks don't move a lot in the day. This is a weekly chart right here. So what I'm doing, what I'm looking at is that's 1 week of price action each candle that we see. And you see, we didn't get a lot of movement on the stock. So the best way to play a stock like this, and again, we got this surge on Friday. They ran and bought the banks on Friday, heading into this week. But we got a breakout. This is a breakout here on the daily. But when you look at the way to play these, when you want to play stocks like this and you want to really find a setup, yeah, let's say we got a trigger for calls. We got a trigger for calls, right? So if we could take out, if we end up taking out that that 40, if we end up taking out that 40, what is that, 40.08 or something like that, or just taking out that 40, we end up taking out that level, then we look for a setup. We want, like, if you look at this stock right here, it was like flag after flag after flag. So what you want to do, you want to zoom out and look for a setup at that point and see what you can get, because when you got a small stock like this without a lot of price, without a lot of um, price action or levels to really hit, or it's not going to move a lot. You want to only play breakouts with volume. So you want to be looking for volume on a lower time frame and looking for those breakouts and those confirmations in order to play it. Otherwise, you can play it long term or something like that. But yeah, stocks like this, I don't really trade them as much unless there's something big to move it. Like I just feel like they're it's never really worth the risk of being into. But this one is moving, and it's Bank of America. Again, like I said, Citibank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, they're all fairly cheap. So that's just one of those stocks, man, that you aren't going to really get a whole lot of move out of it. Let me go ahead and hit this one, Amazon. Amazon been trying to make some noise quietly, man, but it gave back all of those gains. Shout out to StratOps. Is he on here? Man, shout out to StratOps, man. He turned like $60 into like I don't know. I think it was like over 500 or something dollars on Amazon Trade Friday. It'd be the percentages for me. I just like those big percentages. And that one thing I can say about my traders, right? And when I say my traders, I mean people that that coached under me, and now they do their own thing. They got their own way of trading, put their own spin on it. But one thing I take pride in is I always tell my traders, man, it ain't how much money you put up, it's those percentages. I'll see people putting up $2,000 on a trade and make 1,500, where my traders be putting up like 500 and make more than what they made, because they know how to buy at support and at key levels, because that's what I specialize in. So you can chase a trade And also, and that's another thing about like really quickly about my team that I pride myself in. Like, I make money for the little people. I don't post my profits a lot. I post the profits that my team makes, because it's a lot of people out here working regular jobs, so they don't have $50,000 or $8,000 to put up per trade. The trades I be putting my team in, they be going up 100 or over 100%, and you only put up $100 and be making a lot of money off those trades, or putting up or paying $300 for it, and the trade go to over $1,500. You know what I mean? I'm not saying every trade like that, or but you paying if you paying 200 to get into a trade, you're gonna make a few $100s. It's not like, you know, you seeing people putting up like a lot of money, and they getting out at 30% of each trade. Now, if you got people following behind you with your trade alerts, and you getting out at 30%, and you making 5,000, 4,000, 10,000 here, they only making like 20, 30, or $40. If for one contract it was $100 or 200 or 300 to get in. You know what I'm saying? So I'm making sure that the team is doing that. But in order to do that, you have to buy at key levels, and you really have to know how to read these charts and dictate this price action, and really put that work in. So, and that's what we do around here. But like I said, shout out to StratOps. He been doing that consistently for a while, turning a little bit of money into a lot of money. So, just had to give him a shout out, man. So yeah, shout out, shout out. But look, here back to Amazon for a second. We got a level. Amazon finished at a level, nice level here on the weekly, and we got continuity, confluence on the weekly also. So we could possibly get a nice bounce here. We started bouncing already. If you look, we got a few touches here. Price came down here. Previous resistance turned into support, and we got a lot of strong touches at this level, and we got a strong bullish bounce off of here too. I mean, yeah, but I think Amazon is worth keeping on watch here. We got it. I like that bounce. Whenever we can test a key level and bounce there, that's always a good thing. So we got a gap. So if we can get over 179.21, we should be able to get back over 180. Well, my first target would be 180.56. That would be my first target. Now, but the only thing we need to pay attention to on this, we got the non-EMA about to cross back below the 50. But again, that's circumstantial, because the stock had been falling down for a while, and we know that these EMAs, they're lagging indicators. They happen after price already moved. But I like this bounce here. That doesn't mean we won't have a continuation down, but we're in a range now. The only problem about trading in a range is, to me, it's best to wait for the stock to break out of a range to trade it. This is a situation we had for Meta, but Meta had a much better setup than this, than Amazon has right now. But like, we in a range. We got this 173.77 level, and we got this 180.53 area up here. Price is in no man's land right now. So yeah, you can trade this if it clears the 179.82, but your target would be 180.56. That's like about a $1 move. I want the bigger move. So I want the stock to clear that 180.50, that 180.56, and give me some momentum, back over that. Maybe just get over 181. Then we can go to 184.81, and then and so on. That's what I want in order for me to trade this stock. And you see on the weekly, we got some confluence here. We got the bounce here. You can see it a lot clearer on the weekly. So let's keep Amazon on watch. It's not out of the woods yet. It's not out of the woods yet, but this bounce is good, because like I said, if you back test it, every time it's bounced off this level, we got to move. But you see, sometimes we got the bounce here. No, but I'm gonna show y'all real quick. Look, so like right here, even on these touches right here, back here, it bounced down here, closed right here, because green candles. This is a red candle. I just got them as black, and the yellow candles are my green candles. Red candles open at the top of the body and close at the bottom of the body. These points are the wicks, the highs and lows. So it bounced down here, but it closed here. And look, the next candle gapped up. So we closed all the way down here at 74. It gapped up here to 70. What is that? 75, 54 before, and it ran all the way up to 176.43, 46 before flushing back down here. So it's not out of the woods. And as you can see, like it's just been playing around in this area as it bounces. So, but this bounce right here was similar to some other of the bullish bounces. Like, for example, this one, we came down here, bounced, gapped up, and ran, so I don't know when it came back down first, but then it ran back up. But once you lose the 50 EMA, it's just a whole different set of rules that comes out. But this level is a strong level where price likes to bounce and gap from that point. Because like each time we almost got a gap up or a gap down from the time where it hit that level. So let's just see what happens with Amazon. I'm not in any Amazon plays, but it's a stock that you can watch. I mean, the trend is bearish. It might go back up to this non-EMA or right up here, reject this and then come back down again. So, because that's what it's been doing. You got to follow the price action. It's been coming up here and rejecting. And we also have a line, I mean, a trend line here too. If you look, that's what price has been doing. It's been pretty much coming up here and rejecting this area. So we can get a move up. That's why I said I would wait for it to clear that 180.94 first, really just 191, just to make sure you get it cleared first before you're gonna get rejected. Or you can play the puts if it continues to go down, wait for it to reject that area and play it that way. So just keep Amazon on watch. But like I said, I like to play a support and resistance. The best time to have bought it would have been when it was down here at support. And the likelihood of it bouncing are like 90% of the time. Let's go to Netflix. Netflix. Let y'all know if y'all typing in that chat on Zoom. I can't really look at that chat. So it would be, if y'all want to say something, you can type in the chat on Instagram. I can see that one because it's literally in front of me, or you can just unmute and say something. And not J Rock doing it for y'all. Let J Rock. I got a question for you though, J Rock, about a trade. In a second. I got a question for you about a trade. That's what I wanted to say to you. So,
Yo, what's the question? What's the question?
all right, where's KK? KK here?
Yes.
All right. So I know it was a trade that that y'all were in, and I think you had mentioned it to me also about a price. It was something about was it the MDB trade or was it Dell?
You guys I was in both.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, yeah. So let me ask you a question. Like, so on Friday when we were in Dell, when we got on Zoom on Friday, and I asked the team, I said, let Dell breathe for a second, it's going back down. Why did you sell it early?
I actually mentioned that when we was on Zoom taking a trade because when we was in CRM the day before, I didn't take profit when I was supposed to, so I broke even instead of actually making money, which was just
You was in
part of my greed.
CRM?
Yeah, I was in CRM, not the earnings, not the earnings. I'm talking about the puts you had called out.
Okay, gotcha. But we
But
were
like I
on,
said, I didn't make money in that, so to just make sure I got some profits, I got out early.
No, see, that's what I'm saying. But no, I gotta unpack this a little further because like I wasn't even gonna get on Zoom on Friday, But shout out to Red Nose. She came back. I saw Red Nose at rejoin. I'm like, I gotta get on Zoom and get Red Nose some money. So I got on Zoom. And cause we had too many plays. I just wanted to take profit and be done with it on Friday and not trade. But I got on Zoom because and I specifically, was telling the team, like, look, man, you let this breathe. This is what's gonna happen. So I'm asking, I guess I don't know, but I'm saying, like you said, because you ain't want to you got out of CRM too early the day before. Yeah, them contracts printed CRM. Them puts I made sure, that day after put trade, that was a good one. But yeah, but no, the reason I'm asking this question is because you sold CRM, you didn't ask me either, just sold it. I ain't know nothing about that. So but on Zoom, when everybody got on there, I let the room come in first and before the market opened. And when it opened, I'm like, do not sell Dell yet. Let this one breathe, and told y'all where it was going to go. So I'm like, um, you saying that you did it because you wanted to make sure that you secure some profit. Um, but if like I'm just trying to see like why didn't I mean was it I'm just trying to figure out like so what is it that I could have said on Zoom that would have made you hold on to that trade longer? That's the good question. That's the question. I was trying to unpack what I was trying to ask while I was pulling up this Netflix chart. What could I have?
Honestly, it was probably nothing you could have said because I think you said what you needed to say. I was just being stubborn, and I get stubborn a lot, and just trying to instead of just asking a question of being like, "Hey, should I get out here?" I just try to do it myself. which I need to work on personally.
Yeah, because like I said, look, I didn't know, but like I said, for the month of May, if you just grab one contract for every single trade that I alerted, you would have, and this is including losses, net profits of $5,497, and that's if you grab one option for every single trade that I alerted and just follow, or ask me, like if you just ask me a question for any of those trades. But you know what and I'm reason I asked you that question, J Rock, because it applies to a lot of traders that one of the reasons why I revamped the way I do Zoom is so that way I'm on Zoom and I'm there to help y'all through that price action, and to make sure that y'all making the money. Because I'm like, why is the team up so much on a month? And and I know certain people. I had someone tell me last month that that they had left the group. They said because they hadn't made any money since they've been there. So I went and looked to see when they joined, and they joined February the 18th of this year. And I was like, and this was at the beginning of May when they said this. I'm like, damn. So without including any of May profits, just going from February to 20th up until the end of April, I'm like, that's already like over $14,000 per single trade, and we ain't have many losses. So I'm like, how is that possible? Because a lot of people are taking profit or making executive decisions to get out of these trades or whatever, and not, without at least talking to me, asking a question in the chat. And it was somebody that pays extra to be able to get on Zoom and live stream trade with us and didn't do that. So I was excited that Red Nose came back, because one thing Red Nose going to do is ask a question. You know what I'm saying? And I missed that. I missed that a lot. So just glad she's back, and that we got that. I see someone it's that L L Wayne Daniels.
I
Did you
was
want to say
definitely
something?
going to say what I learned from that Dell trade.
Oh, go ahead. What you learned? Hold on. I saw somebody else unmute first. I wanted to see if they wanted to say something first before.
Yeah, I definitely was gonna say it when Antoine says, like, I just feel when our teacher who's teaching us is right there, we and he's like, look, let it breathe. When I hear let it breathe, I said, oh yeah, we about to walk this down. I'm that's gonna be my thought process, because he's right here to walk us through it. So I'm never selling the trade off top. It's just not gonna happen. But I get what J Rock was saying, as far as, he's just thinking about not making the same mistake. But when we got the one on there with us, we got, it's about having that faith in that and being like, yeah, okay, he's here with us. So I can ask him whatever and say, okay, well, I'm here. What do you want? Because we were in the same trade. I think you paid $10. J Rock paid $10 more than I paid. And yeah, it I think I made like another 300-400 more than he made, just because we sat and went with what the target was. Like he
Yeah.
said, the price target 132.
Yeah. So that's where I wanted you. I was asking you to speak on it, because, you as one of the traders too can see it from the other side. I'm just saying, like, I know that I'm trying to make sure that I speak up for the people who need the extra time, or that need me on Zoom those extra days. Because one thing, like, if I'm gonna tell you something, I'm gonna say it with my chest. I'm not gonna be timid about it. If I don't know what's going on with something, I'm like, look, I don't know what's going on. We just gonna do this. But I'm like, look, let that thing breathe, man. This is what's going on. Then I gave y'all the exact target. I'm like, look, if it once, I'm like, it's going back into money. As soon as it got back to 138, or whatever price is at, it was at the 38 portion. I think it was at 138. I'm like, man, it's going back to 132. And that's where it literally went down there and bounced off of that level, and then ran like almost $10 to the other way. Well, like $6 the other way. But the point is like, you can't say, well, I did this, I did that. Now I'm asking you, this goes to everybody. If doing it your way, how much are you up on the year? How much in net profits are you up on the year? One thing we can audit all of our numbers, and most of y'all, actually be on the calls with us or just be getting the trades or whatever. And you know, even if you say, look, like even if you could question, like, let's say you said, I'm gonna question 30% of this. Even if you question 30% of it, you killing the whole market. If you question 50% of it, you still crushing your ROI. You know, look at the ROI for this month. On the 175 subscription, that's a 3,141% ROI. And look, for every single month of 2024 now, we've cleared over $5,600 per, if you only grab one option for every single month. And we already had 2 months where we went north of $5,000 on the month. So we literally at 25K on the year if you grab one option contract for every trade that I've alerted. And if you attend the Zooms and ask questions, you just can't go wrong. And look, if I include the earnings trades, we probably up over 100 bands this year already. I don't include the earning plays in our trades unless it's something I called out to everybody. And not 100, but like 80, I'll say. But I did the numbers. We've been killing the earnings now. So, and I'm gonna have to make another category for earnings because people need to see that too. People need to see how much we up on that too. But the whole point is, it's like if you just follow what's going on, you can, like, what I don't like is when I hear, well, I did this because I ain't want to lose or something like this. I'm like, well, we didn't lose on any of those trades. You know, any trades that you got out of early, um, and didn't ask questions, it probably was a bad idea. But you know, I welcome the questions when it comes to a trade that I alerted, and let's go from there. Like I said, we making too much money. We made too much money this year already. We blew through our the targets, the totals that we had around this time last year. We just started June, and we already halfway. Well, we more than halfway over the totals that we made last year. So and June is one of my months, man. It's one of my best months in the market. So just follow along with the process and take these trades and hop on Zoom if you got access. We're gonna crush this week too, right? So here's a Netflix chart. Let's hit Netflix really quickly because it's another big chart. And Netflix,
No, I
what
was
you
just
say?
gonna say before you moved on, you definitely hit it on the money. That's something that like I knew I need to work on. It's just simply asking questions instead of just doing things on my own. And we go through it pretty regularly. It's been a few times we talked about that on Zoom, but I'm gonna
Yeah,
really
but it's
take that
like,
initiative this month.
but this the thing, no, because I look, see, you could have just left it alone and not said nothing, and I would have moved on. But now I'm gonna say this, like you
Well,
always say that, and you never move, you always do it again. But the thing is, like, it's okay if you don't know what's going on, that's fine. That's why I'm here to teach. I'm here to teach. But just ask me a question. You ask me a question, I'll go down a whole rabbit hole to make sure you know exactly what to do. That's anybody, especially you. You know what I'm saying? We be on Zoom, you be locked in, so. Um, but yeah, don't just sell it and not say something to me first, and then like you said, the last two trades you did that to, you like, because it starts a fear thing. Like, all right, cool. I got out of this last trade too early, and that one ran like a bat out of hell. So then I'm like, the next one I would be like, you know what? Let me go ahead and ask him a question. But before to alleviate any of that, I just said, look, y'all let that breathe, man, and this is what we doing, and we literally walked it down. So yeah, Red Nose, I do want to hear from you because you did get on there first trade back, and you got in. So what gave you the confidence, or what made you go ahead and decide to get in? Because you was getting into the trade, and we had people getting out. But hold on one second. Let me see if she's still on here.
Yeah, I'm still on.
All right, go ahead. What's up?
What made me confident about getting into the trade was because it was fairly off of the price level that you had set. So you said it was coming down, and it to a very strong, that was like a demand zone. That was more so at that point, it wasn't even confident about getting in. It was about pulling out at that zone. I think that was the most important part because it was strong, and you've been watching the chart. You did the analysis on the chart, and it was at 132 where you said that it was a zone where they gonna eat it up, and it was hard to break through. We even did a little fake bet on it, and that's what made me get out. Like right when we was betting on it, that's when I was
Mm-hmm.
because if it's going that strong to hold it, especially at the target you already put, it's time to go. Like, and that's kind of where I was at with it.
Yeah, no, so yeah, no, it was a good trade. I was glad to see that you were in the trade, and welcome back again. We're gonna make some money, more money. But so I'm gonna go through this Netflix trade. And so you see Netflix was another one, bounced off a level, came back, closed back over its 90 and made. Now this stock's been running for a while, right? News, stuff like that. And the stock has been on the move. So over over 148, 148.58, we should be able to make another move back to up into. See, this is what I don't like about these types of charts though, man. Because you see how close we are to the all-time high. We almost there, and we got this nice pullback on it. And we even got a retest on the weekly too, right? The only thing about Netflix, these trades they pretty expensive. So I pretty much don't like to alert Netflix as a trade until later on in the week for the broader team. Now, if we on Zoom or something, that may be a different story because then I can monitor the trade with y'all and we can really make some stuff happen. But for the most part, I like to wait later on in the week for Netflix. But yeah, if we can get over that 148.58, then we can get back up there into that 153 area. 153, and then we got the 164 area that we probably will get back into. But I like the trade better over, me. I like to say I like to have better chances for a larger profit. So I really like it more over this 153. So over 153, then we can get up there into 164. But yeah, just give it a few more dollar move before you, yeah, because that little few dollar move is not worth the price of a Netflix contract. If you ask me, I wanted to get over here, then I know we got action. And then, like I said, we getting close to those all-time highs again. So we are up in here, and the all-time high is 799. So we getting closer up in that area. But yeah, that's why I was just saying I'm looking for a price to kind of move up into here first. And so yeah, over 160, then 180, and then 700, pretty much. Those are the levels that I have for Netflix. But yeah, Netflix, one of them stocks, man. Just it's extremely volatile, and it's an expensive trade, and you got to have a heart for it because you're gonna have to give it at least 30% margin on that trade. So let's say you buy Netflix, right? You buy a Netflix play, you pay $600, $700 to get into that trade. Now you got to go down 30% on it because, of the volatility on the stock or whatever before it does what it need to do. I mean, even if you buy it or you can it's different ways to trade it. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I love this weekly chart, man. It looked like it's about to go. So, yeah, I really like the weekly level better though. On a weekly, we get over that 160, that 164, man, and we up in there. 164, I'm sorry, 664, then we got 680 and 700. So it's knocking on the door. It's almost there. So let's keep Netflix on watch, man. Keep that one on watch. That. I'm gonna hit CrowdStrike. So CrowdStrike actually reports this week, and this is an interesting stock. We're going to talk about this chart, man. I love the chart. I like that nice pullback we got on Salesforce. I mean, on CrowdStrike, my bad. I said Salesforce. But we got a nice pullback here on the weekly on this. Now, this is another stock that's very expensive. So if you're going to try play earnings, at least I say is if you're going to try to play earnings on a stock like this worse than Salesforce in terms of price. Like you can't now, all right. So yeah, the contracts are really expensive on this type of trade. And it's just one of them stocks where I'm like, if you're thinking about playing it, you really gotta have an idea of 1 sec, hold on, I'm trying to bring this up. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm right now, as of right now, I don't have a plan on playing CrowdStrike. Just to be straight up with y'all, that's not my plan. for this quarter is to play CrowdStrike. But I typically make my decisions as based on what the price telling me, what the estimates and what the IV is telling me. So it's a lot of things that kind of go into that. And but when a contract that in order to get the right strikes that you need to get for a specific stock is just a little too out there, then that's one of them things where I kind of like I draw the line like, man, look, they kind of sorry, one second. I'm just trying to. Did anybody have any issues? Are y'all having issues hearing me? Because some people saying they can't hear me.
No, I can
I
hear
can
you.
hear you fine.
Yeah, they can hear me fine. All right, cool. Because like what? So they said they can hear me. My bad. All right, cool. They just trying to. My bad. My bad. Cool. All right. Yeah, I think everybody can hear. All right. So maybe they get because I'm talking about people on IG, but yeah, either way. So Salesforce, I mean, I keep going back to Salesforce, CrowdStrike. Um, this sector has been has been in turmoil lately, but we need CrowdStrike, especially now heading into an election. I really feel like they need to ramp up the cybersecurity a lot more because thank you. Sasha can hear me fine. Okay, cool. But yeah, so we need the stock, but it's just that it's a very expensive stock. It's a very expensive play, and again, I don't know what I'm doing for. I don't know if that's even a plan for me to play CrowdStrike. I mean, CrowdStrike is a great day after trade. I feel like if you got to pay in order to get into the right strikes for this particular trade, you're gonna have to spend at least $800 to get into this trade. And if it trades in the middle like it did last quarter, you know what I mean? You literally clapped on both sides. Now, if you try to put a lot of time on it, you're going to spend at least $2,000 to get in the right strikes, or you're going to get crushed either way. So it's one of them stocks where it's like, I could play it the day after they rip the life out of these contracts and make some money off that as opposed to trying to just force an earnings play. I only play earnings when it feels right. Now, who knows what it's gonna what how price is gonna be and how it's gonna be set up heading into the print, because then I'll make a decision at that point. But at the same time, I'm going off it now. And from right now, it's very expensive to play that stock. And you know me, any earnings trade is a lotto. Like people like to talk about earnings and stuff like that. But earnings is a lotto YOLO trade. We up over 25 bands per single option, per one trade, per one single contract per trade without any earnings, right? So if that's what we're doing right now, then it's like when you think about that, the money that you could lose playing for earnings. Now, again, I feel even with the regular trade, you should not be putting more than 20% of your total available cash for trading in any trade, whether it's an earnings trade or not. But I feel like if you're not up on a year and you don't have a cushion to sit back on, I would be sitting out these earnings trades and wait and then hop on Zoom with us the day after earnings and make some money, because I'm gonna walk you through that price and we're gonna make some money. But yeah, like it's just not worth it. Like we didn't trade Nvidia earnings, and I don't regret not playing it because again, like I said, yeah, the stock ended up running like a bat out of hell, but it did not move. I'm saying like from where the market closed to where the market opened the next day, it did not move $90 until after the market opened. So initially those contracts got clapped, and the smart money and people like that got in when the market opened at a discount and paid where people who were already in the trade had to make that money up first before it moved. And that I felt like to pay the type of money you needed to pay and anybody who was deep out of the money, those contracts got clapped. They were done for that week's expiry. They were done. Don't let nobody tell you anything differently. And so the thing is, it's not worth it. It's not worth the risk if you don't understand Vega exposure and how IV crush works. It's just like it's not worth the risk when you got an IV that's up over 200%. That's normally below 50%. You know what I mean? So when you multiply the IV, the percentage by the Vega exposure, you get whatever they're going to rip from your contract. you know, so you just got, there's no way. It's like, so it has to move a certain amount in order for you to make some money. And again, this is one of those trades where, and actually, my bad, I misspoke. CrowdStrike did not trade in the middle last quarter, but it was it actually moved like $90 last quarter. But so it did not. But that doesn't mean that's what's going to happen this quarter, because again, all it takes is, let's say they beat revenue and EPS, they got the best chart set up in the world, and then they guide down, you know. So that's the end. That's the end. And they get on that earning call without any hope, or the reverse happen, or they miss one, or it's in line with expectations. It's just so many different things that goes into the earnings. But that IV, man, when you look at the IV on those contracts and stuff like that, it's like, oh nah, they're not gonna get me. I'll wait until the day after. It's not that serious. Now, and there are certain trades where I'm like, you know, would I rather be in it than not be in it? Absolutely. It's like the setup there. I always base it on one thing. I'm like, if we traded this play, um, would I be able to get on Zoom the next day with my team and explain why I did this? And let's say any of my mentors or any of like people that I respect or whatever was looking to see if I was really about what I'm about, right? Got on there and I talked what I talked. I told them like the reasoning behind why we got into that trade. If I couldn't back that up with some real data and a real setup and a real logic behind it, then nah, I'm not putting my team in no situation like that, man. So and yeah, it's just too much. We can make a lot of money trading it without being in the earnings. So that's where I'm at with that, you know. So I want y'all to just be careful with the earnings, man. When there's an earnings that you need to worry about, I'll tell you, you know, so we'll talk about it. But earnings ain't really, that's how we play earnings behind the scenes and stuff like that. But I pride myself in the fact that we make a lot of money without even trading these earnings, man. So let's stick to these day trades, man. These regular trades that I'm putting y'all in at these key levels, and these contracts going up, you know, on average 100%. So that's what we need to focus on. What we like I said, the month that we had for May, we've had a month like this every month this year. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not having these types of months, maybe you're chasing earnings, maybe you're, you know, doing some other things. But there is a great setup on this chart that we can play. This could give us a nice run up heading into earnings. So now we got a catalyst. We got a catalyst that we can play that will create volatility for us to be able to make money on the stock without playing the earnings, right? So if we can get over that I'm gonna say 330, we get over 330, we can make a nice move. See, over 330, we can make a nice move up into 337, and then even a higher move up. That'll be a nice move to get on a stock like this, right? Without even having to deal with any earnings. What's that? 337, 37, and all the way back up to 351. That's a nice move if we can get a bounce here. Because look, we finished at a key level here. If you look at the weekly chart, we finished at a key level. Nice bounce and close back above this level. And now, so if we get a bullish continuation, a bullish move, not a continuation, because it would be a bearish continuation. But if we get a bullish reversal here, then we can get a nice move back up there and that'll be a nice move. So like I said, over 330, then we can make a nice move over 337, 37, and then 351. So that'll be a really, really nice move, even better than an earnings risk, you know. So let's keep this one on watch, because now we got a catalyst for volume. We get that volume, and then we got to move. And like I said, NVIDIA is a stock that everybody should be really watching this week, man. The stock is going to split after the close on Thursday. So that's another opportunity for us to make some more money on a stock that actually have some something that we can control. Because remember, last thing about earnings, we can decide at any time that any trade that we're in, oh, I don't like the way this moving. It's moving funny. I got to get out of this trade. You can make that decision and do it, but not with earnings, because earnings happen either pre-market or after the close, and you're locked in that trade. Once you're locked in it, it's like once you get off the porch, you can't get back on there, right? So you're in it for life, and it's either whatever happens on the other side of that trade, you got to deal with it. You can't set a stop loss or a limit order or nothing. That IV gonna get ripped out of that contract, or the stock gonna run like a bat out of hell. One of it's going to happen, right? And if you just getting in these earnings plays because of what happened last quarter, that's the worst thing that you could possibly do, you know? So now there are situations where, you know, where we have taken risk on earnings and stuff like that. And but any earnings trade is a risk, like I said before. But Salesforce, CrowdStrike is a nice chart, and I like where price finished, but yeah, let's look for a trade idea. And again, if we were to lose this 306.50, we can get back down in here and retest this area down up in here. So we got some nice moves that the stock can actually make if even prior to earnings. So let's just keep it on watch, and it'll definitely be on my radar. And if I see a nice trade, then we will, I'll make sure that I let the team know about it. But we definitely want to keep it on watch. Let me hit Tesla. Hit Tesla, man. But yeah, man, just be careful with the earnings, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Tesla chart looks nice here. We talked about this on Friday. You see how we got this consolidation up in here, up in this wedge area. And we got a double close over the 9 and the 50 EMA, but it's just like price has just been congregating in this area for a little while. So, I want us back over 180. I feel like we get back over 180, we can 183 and then 187 and then so on. But you see, we got a wedge here too. So let's get out of this wedge and we probably get action, because if you look here, this level, the reason I put this dotted line here is because Tesla has been bouncing off this area for a while. Like, how many weeks has this been now? It's been right up in this area since May 24th. It's just been right up in this area, bouncing off here. So we just bounced again on Friday, got reclaimed the 9 and the 50 EMA. So all we need to do is clear this wedge, man. So I'm gonna just say over. You can wait for the wedge break. Personally, I would wait for the wedge break, wait for it to get out of the wedge. So, like, I'm gonna say like over 180, over 182. Then, we could play it in so many ways. Think about it like that, because yeah, we got a level here where price can get rejected. So, if Tesla was to break out and move, we easily clear this area. Now, some people be looking for those earlier entries. Now, you have to go down to a lower time frame to find an earlier entry. Cause we finished inside on a weekly. I like an inside week on Tesla. So we got an inside week on Tesla. So price can go either way. One candle or inside is a neutralizing candle. So it just neutralized whatever the previous move was. So price can go either way. But I'm looking for that move. We need that breakout on Tesla, man. I like when we get this type of consolidation, because when we break out, we make that move. So like I said, if we break out of this wedge, I'm gonna be looking at 187. I'm gonna be looking at 187, but like I said, but remember that 180, 183.54 comes first. Clear that, and then yeah, let's just make that move. Let's make that move. But you could play it either way. Play it either way you like. And again, don't give too much weight to wedges though. Like a wedge is a wedge, but I like it's more. I'm looking at these levels, man, and where price is hitting. But when we get these types of move for Tesla, we normally get a big move. So let's just keep it on watch. And waiting for Tesla to make a move, man. I just don't got it losing this area here. Now look, I'm gonna tell y'all how I told y'all with Meta. So pay attention. Like, if we lose this area here, though, then we get a nice move down. Because I mean, yeah, we got that 168, 64 area, but we've been dancing up in here for a while, and the last time we hit that area, we couldn't take it out. So let's see what happened. We lose this area now. We get another retest of that 68, 74, but then that's a flush after that if it loses that. So, either way, Tesla is a big move. I try not to be biased on the stocks. I mean, maybe Meta sometimes, but we make money either way on that stock. So whatever the price says, that's what we're gonna respect. But keep Tesla on watch, man. It's been trying to make some noise lately, and it hasn't really been able to do what it needs to do, but we need to keep that one on watch. Go to QQQ. No, I gotta hit IWM, man. I always forget. So IWM is an ETF that tracks the Russell 2000. That's the small cap stocks. And we got a nice pullback on it last week, but we also had a move first. But we need to. This is another one. Contracts aren't really expensive, but I like this. But they do move. They give you a nice move. We got a bullish flag here on the daily. One sec. I'm trying to bring this up. We got a nice flag area here on the daily. Hold on. Just trying to keep an eye on it, right? And see where price really wants to go off of this. I hate using this tool, man. Hold up. I'm just gonna mark that. Hold up. Get this tool out of here. I like this stock though, or the ETF, man. You see, we got a bullish close over the 90 MA after a bounce off the 50. It bounced off one level and closed over another one of my levels right here, right? So we got this, but still, we were rejecting this area right here. So I'm looking for a break over it. So we can get over that 206.30, then we can probably retest up in here. It's a few areas that we can hit, but I like when we get a breakout on an ETF like this. Where,
But that look too young, though, dude.
hold on, let me mute these lines because I'm ready to. 1 second, y'all. Sorry, but yeah, so yeah, we break out of this area over that 206.30, then we can probably retest that 206.60 and then 209.24, etc. Now, you see on the weekly, you can see the same trend, right? It's just it's not as it's more easier to see here. It's clearer on here, right? So the same place where price is being rejected. But look, we got so many levels that we can retest on there, but I ain't worried about that right now. We trying to get out of here. And let's just keep in action because we got a 222 continuation. So I'm going 2-2 continuation. So the last two candles, they were bearish, but I like this bounce here. I do like this bounce. We get this breakout and then we got action. So let's just keep IWM on watch, man. It's a lot of small cap stocks that are still left. And we just need to keep this one on watch. This one on watch. 1 sec. Hit y'all with this. So oh yeah. Oh yeah. See, I almost forgot, man. I'm glad I looked. I got 2 stocks that I definitely need to hit. My list for some reason is not coming up, but so Dick's Sporting Goods, right? Played this one last week. Man, look at this weekly chart on Dick's. We got the breakout. Now, I showed y'all this chart last week, and it hadn't broken out yet, right? But it broke out. This is this is what you call a real bullish flag breakout. Took out the all-time high, and it closed up there, right? I don't like playing stocks at all-time highs, but they had a surprise beat, and they smashed through everything. Came down here and we got it. We got this solid breakout. Now I don't know what's gonna happen here because again we had all-time highs again. Yeah, so let's just keep it on watch and see where price goes from here. But I just wanted to point out that this stock now this I'm gonna show y'all this stock has done this before. We've broken all-time highs and just continued to run. It's done it before, so it's not like look how far it's extended though. So how much is it going to come back? And I can't even really say that because look, this was the last few earnings. It just kept running up. Yeah, we had a pullback after this one, right? But that was the market coming down too. So look, now I'm looking for some possible moves several months out after price start to stabilize on this and consolidate and look for some puts, some further time out. I'm not saying I'm getting puts or anything right now, but you can make a nice move off of this stock. That was $100. Look, it was like almost, it moved down from the last highs, all-time highs, right? That was what is that 225.79 all the way down to what is that to 182. So nice move down from before. And again, these contracts DKS contracts are not cheap. So just imagine having a nice plan when once we decide what price wants to do. Because again, I ain't trying to be that guy to just to time the market. I'm gonna let the market tell me what it wants to do. And right now, they had a surprise beat. So the market didn't know what they were talking about. They didn't think that Dix would be able to do it again. Stock broke up and ran like a bat out of hell, man. So we need to, just keep it on watch and follow the price action on that one. Zscaler, another one with a surprise beat. And look, so all right, so I'm gonna give y'all something real quick. So look, everybody that was thinking about playing CrowdStrike earnings, Forget about CrowdStrike, man. I'm gonna tell y'all why you should forget about CrowdStrike. You could play Zscaler or Palo Alto as an out as a sympathy play and make a lot of money. So I'm gonna show y'all if you cannot sit it out and you have to play it, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you a nice thing that you can do. But let's talk about Zscaler first. Zscaler had earnings, man. I traded Zscaler. I played Zscaler. I didn't put any. I played it. I played Zscaler. Right. I felt like I told y'all on Zoom on Thursday morning. We were on Zoom Thursday morning. I was telling the team. I said I felt like Zscaler would have a surprise beat, and they would because I didn't feel like. I'm gonna show y'all this chart. I'm show y'all this chart. It's monthly, it's weekly chart. The weekly chart was undeniable, man. And again, it wasn't just the chart. It was a lot more than the chart, but the chart played a part in it. We were at a key level. I felt like we would bounce here. Now, how did I feel about the trend though? Immediately when the market opened on Friday morning, I sold it. I sold it at the top immediately. And because yeah, I did that, but we rejected we haven't gotten back over our 200 EMA. We rejected the 50 EMA, and we came back and we hit this we tried to close this gap, came back up and closed back over the 9 EMA. Now I'm gonna tell y'all, so look, we see a few times before, you notice it once we lost the 9 EMA, it was rejected into whatever, heading into the print. We got back over it, we reclaimed it. That's good. That's good. That's a good thing. Let me show y'all. So we got some levels. So we got some areas up in here, right? For price. Now we're in a range again, but I'm gonna actually give y'all some more because that's a little wide. That one is a little wide. But so we got a few ranges up in here for price to play with. Now we could just come back down again. We could, but we got a lot of ways because price likes to try to fill gaps too. But like I like the fact that we were able to close back over here, and they did have a surprise beat on the earnings. So it wasn't like the sentiment was bearish, but the market did come down. And a lot of people, you got to understand too, sometimes there are bulls that are trapped, right? And so let's say you bought a stock and you were expecting something bullish to happen, and another stock in this sector had a bad earnings and it fell off a cliff in sympathy or something like that. And now you're trapped. Let's say you got shares that you bought while the stock was $180 and the stock fell off a cliff all the way down to like 170 or something. You had a lot of shares. So you can be trapped in there. So the moment the stock get back up into that zone where you're back to break even or even a bit profitable, you got people that's willing to jump out of the stock now because they like, I know something, the macro situation not looking good or the sector just not looking good, and I'm gonna go ahead and take profit and get out of this because they were trapped. So price never really able to break through this area here, but it's been getting rejected up here the whole time anyway since it lost this area back in April. So we just got to pay attention to that. It was flagging down. We got the bear flag breakdown here, and then but we got a move back up into this area. So we should keep it on watch still. It's a wide range, but you look at the weekly chart here, there still was a bearish flag on the stock. So they had a surprise beat and everything, but I just think this still is something to keep on watch. But it's a wide range here on this stock to in order to trade it. So I don't like when stocks are in a range like this. I mean, yeah, in a way, because if it holds this area right here, just know if it holds this area and we get a bounce, oh yeah, that's a nice move up to 170, 178, 59, well, I'm gonna just say 178, give yourself some margin and go from there. Then you could possibly retest 183. But like I said, if it loses this area again, then we know we can it's likely to fill this gap again and so on. But yeah, either way, it's something that you should keep on watching. And also, like I said, if you instead of playing CrowdStrike, you can play Zscaler or play Snow or play Palo Alto. So I want to take a look at Palo Alto really quickly and see how. Now I was about to get off of here, man, but I gotta hit these stocks for y'all real quick.
Told you.
Yeah, I know. It's cool. I'm about to get off though in a few. I said I was trying to keep this an hour today, man. I was trying to keep it an hour. These rabbit holes, man. But yeah, here's how Palo Alto finished on Friday. So we bounced off of here, and yeah, all of these stocks, they still got a bearish setup on them. What I'm looking for, we could possibly, because I already had this chart marked up. We got back over one of these levels. We can get over 299.30, 299.35. Well, I'm gonna just say let's get over 300. Let's get over 300. Let's get over 300. We get over 300, then we got 304.81, and then we can start making a move up back up into 310 and so on. But the stock is still bearish because we rejected the 50 again. So it's a lot of ways down to the 200 EMA. Not really, but we lose that 286.58. Then we can make a move down to that 280, which is the 200 EMA. But I'm gonna tell y'all, look, check this out though. It's a long ways down to get a trigger for puts on this stock. So this is how you can play this also if you're intraday and you're watching and you're paying attention to the stock. If it loses that 293.55 area again, I'll say if it loses that area again, then zoom out and see what the 5-minute doing if you can find a setup on the 5-minute, because then you can probably play it down to like in that 287 zone without it even taking out the trigger for puts. So but also it's another stock that you could play instead of playing CrowdStrike. I'm gonna give y'all a little lesson real quick, just something real quick just to show y'all. Let's go to this Palo Alto. I'm gonna make this a daily chart over here on this side right here, and I'm gonna go to CrowdStrike last quarter. Give y'all a little lesson real quick. Come on, chart, man. Just come on, chart. All right, so that's fine either way. So this is the CrowdStrike chart over here. This was CrowdStrike's earnings last quarter. So all right. So this was, what day was that? On March 5th. All right, so March 5th, we closed at 297, and it opened at 360, right? Now let's go to what date did I say that was? March 5th? March 5th? All right, yeah, March 5th. Let me go to March 5th on the Palo Alto daily chart. Seems weird, man. Is this the Palo Alto? Yeah, the Palo Alto daily chart. All right. March 5th. Yeah, March 4th. All right, so this is March 5th. So yeah, Palo Alto closed on March 5th at 291. It opened at 298. So it made 298.98. So it made like an $8 move up off of CrowdStrike's earnings. And you see CrowdStrike flush down right after the open, and that's what Palo Alto did too. But Palo Alto was already bearish anyway. But the whole point is it gapped up off of CrowdStrike's earnings, and then it flushed down off of CrowdStrike's earnings. So a nice multi-directional trade that you could trade without having to deal with the IV, without having to worry about the trouble associated with with trying to trade CrowdStrike. So like I said, I will stay away from it. Now, if you just that type of person and just want to do it anyway, and just think about your portfolio, your P&L. Like I said, if are you up on your year? Then if you are, then take your own advice. But if you're not, then follow the people that's up on the year, because we crushing it up on the year. All time too. But so this is a good one to keep on watch. And yeah, man. So I'm gonna end it on that note because we went over a lot, and I do got a few more charts, but I saw a few people asking questions. I'm gonna post them in the chat. So even if you're not one of our subscribing members, you still have access to the chart alerts channel and the watch list channel and the Discord. That's where I will be posting these charts at with the entries and exits and price targets and stuff like that on there. So just keep an eye on that chart on that channel, and we can go from there. Thank y'all for hopping on today, man. And again, I'm sorry for keeping y'all over an extra 50 minutes. I apologize.
No, it was good information.
Thanks so
No,
much,
thank you.
Antoine. Have a great
Yeah, thank you for your time.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
Good
See
weekend.
y'all.
Appreciate you.
Great,
Thank you.
fellow.
No problem. See y'all later.